Hey, James here from eBassGuitar, and today I want to share one of the most important and one of the most overlooked parts about getting a great slap bass guitar technique together. If you're interested in playing great slap, please do check this film out right to the end. So hey guys, I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about how to develop a great slap bass technique. And I'm talking about how to get the fundamentals in place of how to play great slap kind of in a groove format in a band here. I'm not talking so much about how to double thump like Victor Wooten, although that can come later if you get this really important concept down. And what I'm going to share with you today is something that I've seen with so many of my students over the years, and that I always need to kind of start to put right straight away, and so with so many players full stop as well, is that they can get a great thumb sound on the E string, like there, and on the A string, but when it starts going onto the D string and the G string, they find that they can't slap for some reason. I think it's because there's so many octaves in slap that most people do that. But when it comes to doing that they just don't develop the sound or the tone on the G string and the D string. And in my opinion, that's one of the most important things, particularly if you want to start taking this into all the double thumping techniques and all that kind of thing in due course. So I'd like to think of the thumb technique as another voice that I just don't go to when I'm gonna play slap and do all the pyrotechnics that you hear kind of guys doing in music shops all the time, that kind of thing. I like to have it as another kind of tonal palette. And one thing that my teacher always used to do, he used to get me to practice things in three kind of ways. One was fingerstyle, like that. Okay, one was thumb. Okay, either muted or unmuted, or one was slap. So I'd sort of end up practicing pretty ordinary things, even doing sort of little solos and that kind of thing, actually using the thumb technique. So I kind of had it as another voice, and that kind of means I have the option when I play gigs, if I want to thumb something, I don't know, like the bass line to I Wish. It's kind of all there in a groove setting, essentially. So I want to share a couple of exercises to really get this thumb technique together, so that you can have complete command over playing thumb style, okay, the thumb thump all over the neck, because you will hear kind of guys like Marcus Miller doing all these, all those kind of ideas where they're slapping or thumping off the top G string. So you need to have command over that. And the issue that we get is that and why guys tend to shy away from learning how to do this properly, is it actually gets quite hard to get a good sound out of the D and the G string. So these techniques are designed to develop that. If you're not sure how to thump, I'm just going to literally show you that very quickly. There are a couple of different techniques that guys use. Some guys come from this angle here. I don't personally like that one. It doesn't work for me. I tend to come from this and have my right hand parallel or with the strings, and then thump more or less parallel with my thumb. So it's not quite parallel. Some guys will do it that, but that is the angle that I do. And then I thump literally on the edge of the fingerboard like that, and that's where you get that real classic thumping sound from. You'll hear if you bring it further back, you lose the kind of the bang to the sound almost. So that, in my opinion, is where it sounds best there. Okay, and so try it on all the different strings. But what you'll find as the strings get thinner, and this is why, again, guys shy away from it, is that it gets harder because there's kind of less string to move around, essentially. But if you put enough force and play it hard enough, and just to work on developing, getting that tone, you will start to feel pretty quickly that a sound will come along. And the same goes here. Okay? So again, I'm just going for the end of the fingerboard on the G string here. So I'm going to share with you now 2 exercises that you can do to start getting your thumping together. And in my opinion, if you want to play good slap, having a good thumb sound is really the most important thing. So the first one we can do is we can use major scales, and this is great. So 2 notes on each one, and then go into the second octave, and this is where you really practice practice working on the D and the G string. Okay, I do find that it's very hard to get a good slap sound much above the 12th fret. So if I was you, just go up to about the octave on the G string. Okay, so you can practice all of your scales like that, as if you're practicing doing this. Try and do them with the thump, essentially. Okay, and try and get it as clean as possible, and get the accuracy in your right hand, and get the muting in there with your left hand too, so strings aren't ringing on. So that's one thing you can practice, is scales. And the second idea that I'm going to show you is you can use rock and roll bass lines, riffs to do this. So your standard rock and roll riffs work really well. So I'm going to put this in the key of B flat. Okay, and if we take it up into E flat now, so I'm putting it across the 12-bar blues. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson today. If you take away one thing from watching this film, is please do spend time getting your thumb sound together across all 3 strings. Don't worry for so much about doing all that kind of clever stuff at the moment. That will come in due course. But if you don't have this together and your thumb working properly, it's next to impossible to kind of get it to really groove in the band. It always will just sound a little bit odd, or your time won't be good. Please do spend time practicing scales, practicing arpeggios, that kind of thing, practicing bass riffs. Use a drum machine, use a click track, metronome to help get yourself in time, and speed it up as if it's just another technique that you're getting together. Try and get the same facility as if you were using your fingers. Obviously, as time goes on, people develop the double thumping idea, where you're going back and forth. It's because there's only so fast you can get that one going on, and so that's how they then, and that's how and why they then put that extra gear into it. But there are so many great bass lines that, for instance, that you don't that work, that you've got plenty of facility essentially with just your thumb. So please do spend some time getting that together. I've been James from eBassGuitar.com. If you've enjoyed this lesson, please do give it a like, please do give it a share, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Cheers for now, and I'll see you on the next lesson. Bye bye.